Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the Western Nomad. I'm going to share some sights and sounds from Allenspark, Colorado and Estes Park, Colorado. This is one of the most well-known areas in the entire state, basically because it's the way you get to Rocky Mountain National Park. That's generally what this area is known for, but I'm going to talk about everything surrounding the park, because you've probably seen enough videos talking about Rocky Mountain National Park. So this church you're seeing here is technically in Allenspark. It's called St. Catherine's Chapel on the Rock, and it's one of the most prettiest churches probably in the Rocky Mountains, just because of how it's situated. And you can see as I'm flying my drone around here, it's just spectacular. And if you ever have driven in from Boulder area on Colorado State Highway 7 and made this drive, it's just like, this is where I fell in love with Colorado for the first time. I remember coming out here in I believe May or early June of 2019 as the sun was rising, and I stopped my car and I said, I've never seen anything this beautiful in my life. Yet again, I'm from the East Coast, so the beauty is limited where I'm from, so everything is perspective. But this area does hold a special place in my heart, and I just want to give you a realistic view of what this area looks like. And this was filmed early April 2025, so it's actually a good time to be in this area, mainly because the timed entry permits for Rocky Mountain National Park don't go into effect yet. And I believe, according to Google here, May 23rd is when things are going to get busy, and those timed entry permits, especially for the Bear Lake corridor, are going to go into effect. So springtime up here, it's really still winter. You'll probably get rainstorms, snowstorms almost regularly. This time of year, I was hiking the Mount Lady Trail, and it was fairly mild, but did get some light snow up in the higher elevations above tree line, and the wind is always ferocious in the mountains. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and I'll attempt to explain the history of what's perhaps the most well-known town or most notable town in Colorado Rockies. Estes Park is more than just a picturesque mountain town. It's a place steeped in history, shaped by early settlers, adventurers, and dreamers. Located about 70 miles northwest of Denver, Estes Park sits at an elevation of 7,522 feet, cradled by the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains. The area was originally home to the Ute-Arapaho tribes, who hunted and lived in these alpine valleys. In the mid-1800s, European settlers began arriving. The town's name comes from Joel Estes, a Missouri native who first settled here with his family in 1859. By the early 1900s, Estes Park was already gaining attention as a scenic gateway for Denver's elite. One of the key figures in putting Estes Park on the map was F.O. Stanley, co-inventor of the Stanley Steamer automobile. Stanley built the iconic Stanley Hotel in 1909, which not only brought luxury tourism to the area, but later inspired Stephen King's The Shining. In the early days, small industries helped fuel the economy of Estes Valley. Among them was the Ennis Mill, a lumber mill established in the 1800s near what is now Estes Valley Library. It played a vital role in supplying wood for the early construction of cabins and lodges in the area. Though the original mill is long gone, its memory lives on in local archives and through the preserved traditions of craftsmanship that helped shape Estes Park's rustic architectural style. So why do people come to Estes Park? Well, obviously, like I said before, they come for Rocky Mountain National Park, our crown jewel of the state. But there's other cool stuff to explore, like you just saw Lily Lake, which has a cool little trail that goes around the lake, and you have really good views of Estes Valley. And you don't need a timed entry permit, or you usually find parking around there. So there is other options to do all the fun outdoor activities like rock climbing and fly fishing, snowshoeing, hiking, whatever you want to do. You don't have to necessarily go into Rocky Mountain National Park to accomplish that. So if you're trying to look to escape some of the crowds this summer and you want to still enjoy, downtown Estes Park and the beauty of the area, just do some planning. I know there's plenty of dispersed camping sites in the Estes Park Valley, and a couple years ago I camped out in one of them, and it was a good experience. So downtown, it's really, as you can see, it's like a really old Americana feel. Tons of taffy shops, cozy restaurants, riverside walks, log cabins, and good place to grab a burger and just enjoy walking to one of these local businesses and supporting them, and buying a cool knife or t-shirt. Anyone who lives out here in the Rocky Mountains in one of these smaller communities knows the importance of supporting your local small business shop, and everyone's struggling right now, so do your part. Stay away from the big corporations, and luckily you won't find too many out here in Estes Park. So go local and enjoy the area you're in. So here we're back at St. Catherine's Chapel on the Rock. This was built in 1936. This stone chapel appears to rise naturally from the massive rocks it's built upon. It was the dream of Monsignor Joseph Bossetti, who envisioned a place of worship that would blend seamlessly with the beauty of the Rockies. The chapel survived a devastating wildfire in 2011 and remains a symbol of resilience and peace. It even received a visit from Pope John Paul II in 1993 during his trip to the U.S., who prayed at the chapel during his retreat to the St. Milo Retreat Center nearby. So this is now a picture of Long's Peak as the storm's coming in, and this is me attempting to hike the Mount Lady Trail. I didn't get anywhere near Mount Lady, but once I got above tree line, it got a little windy up there, and I don't know, it really just wasn't enjoyable, so I went back down. But always cool to get above tree line. Right now, this is sitting close to 12,000 feet above sea level, so hiking at that elevation is always a good time. But if you want to, escape the crowds of Rocky Mountain National Park, there's Allenspark and Estes Park, and there's tons of places in the Wild Basin area which no one ever really goes to. And for those of you who don't know what the Wild Basin area is, it's basically a section in southern Rocky Mountain National Park that a lot of tourists just don't go to. It's a little more rougher terrain, a little more wet, but there's less people here and less hassle. So hopefully you learned a couple things about the area and how to avoid what's going to be, a really busy summer. Thanks again for watching, and please subscribe.